Dr. Conrad's case has come to an end, and we all know now that Dr. Conrad's fate is in the jury's hands. Um, Today, oh, actually, I should say yesterday. Yesterday, the jury had just finished a full day of deliberations, going almost into 8 hours, and the spectators like Vinnie Politan and Beth Karras and the In Session crew and HLN crew have all thought that they were going to have a verdict today, and you know what? There's no verdict, and a lot of people are split in the middle between Conrad's innocence or Conrad's guilt. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to be a gambling man, and if someone were to ask me, do you think Conrad will be found guilty or innocent according to the jury? You know something? This has been a controversial case from the very start. Not only did we get to see Michael's private world and what went on in the house, but we also get to understand what happened that day according to both sides. And I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm a gambling man now, if I had to really debate this and really had to ask myself, will he walk? I think, in all honesty, this is going to be a hung jury. I told like family members, because we were debating this today, because a lot of people were talking about the verdict, and you know, I told like my brother too, because me and him talk a lot, and me and him have come to the point where he believes, like I believe, that you know what, we don't really know what really happened in that house. You know, that's Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson, and God to decide that. That's if you believe in it. But the reason why I say hung jury is because if they automatically believed that he was guilty, they would have found him guilty within at least 3 hours into their deliberation. They all would have came in a unanimous vote and said, you know what, all 12 of us believe that Michael Jackson was killed by Dr. Conrad Murray's grossly negligence, and he deserves the 4 years and more. But the reason why they haven't come up with that conclusion is because I truly believe this in my heart of hearts, that you know what, they honestly are split. They're arguing about it. You know, like you see the spectators that you see in the streets. A lot of people are split in the middle. I don't really believe it's because of whether they're Jackson fans or, as the commentators say in the news, oh, this is a smart jury, which they need to stop that shit too. It's not about a smart jury. This is not about a Casey jury or an OJ jury or whatever jury. This is a jury, regardless of what the case is, they're looking at the facts. It's not about how smart they are. It's about who presented the better case. That's what I think has always been a problem with these controversial media cases, is that people are always split in the middle, because you got In Session and you got HLN, and they're all prosecutory side. And then you have a lot of people who just look at both sides of the case and they can come up with their own conclusions. You got to understand that when you watch something like this, you got to be able to decide on your own. Do you think Conrad's guilty or innocent, or do you think Casey's guilty or innocent, or whatever? But the fact of the matter is, this is not so much about whether the jury's smart or dumb. This is about, did the prosecution present their case, or did the defense present their case? And you know something? Both sides presented a very powerful circumstantial case. Prosecution saying, you know what? Well, Michael Jackson trusted people, and he trusted Conrad, and Conrad was grossly negligent. The defense is saying, well, you know what? Michael Jackson caused his own demise because he was an addict, and because Dr. Conrad didn't really know his full diagnosis, how could he help somebody that someone was trying to hide their drug habit? So, you know, these are things that a lot of people don't really understand. And that, you know what, in order for people to understand, you got to listen to both sides of the case. Now, I know my time is short on here because a lot of people, you know, because YouTube keeps it short now. But in my conclusion, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the reason why this would be a hung jury, but you know what? Let me scratch that hung jury theory for a minute. If someone asked me, forget about the hung jury, do you think Conrad will walk, or do you think he'll go to jail? Is the question. I honestly believe he'll walk. I have the strangest feeling that the defense made a better case. I'm not saying that the prosecution's case is not strong. The problem with the prosecution's case is the day that Michael Jackson died on that bed, we don't know what really happened. We don't know if Conrad Murray is some psychopathic doctor who got him killed. We don't know if Michael Jackson's addiction to propofol took it to the point where he killed his own self because he was taking other prescriptions and his heart couldn't take it. You know, we don't really know what really happened. That's why it's a circumstantial case. But the idea is that I think this jury will punish him for his license. I don't really think Dr. Conrad Murray could give a rat's ass about going to jail. It's that medical license that you would harshly punish him on. I see this jury punishing him for 4 years with a medical license. If you take that medical license away, you've already given him a death sentence. It's almost like, you know what, someone who's worked maybe 20 years, maybe 30 years trying to get his medical license, he got it. Now that's his livelihood. You take the livelihood away, like anything in life, they will suffer. And you believe me, you're making them suffer. 4 years in prison, that's nothing. You know, he can get out in good behavior. We don't even know what the conditions of the 4 years are. But the fact of the matter is, I have this feeling that he'll walk. We're all gonna be. You know, I'm not gonna be so surprised of it, because I would have thought that, you know what, if he was guilty, they would have found him guilty that day. We will get a verdict sometime Monday, but if we don't, I see it either going through a hung jury or this man will. This man, I have a feeling, will walk. So, tell me what you think of Conrad Murray. What you think of the verdict? Tell me what you think. Innocent, guilty, whatever. But the idea is, you know, hit me up with your comments. I love to hear your opinions. And for the most part, just keep an open mind on this case. Whether you're a Michael Jackson fan or whether you're not a fan, it's not about the man's brilliant music. Because at the end of this whole thing, we have to ask ourselves, we lost an iconic figure. And you know something? He does deserve justice if there was maliciousness in this case. But I just believe that if you want to be honest, everyone is at fault in this case, including Michael. You know, if we're easy to blame Conrad, let's also be easy to blame Michael, because he's just as fault. So, food for thought. You all take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and remember, use your mind. It's your best weapon.